بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Greetings and salutations be upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I hereby greet this wonderful gathering with the best of the greetings, and I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before going any further, I have a question to ask you. And perhaps, just perhaps, the person who is fortunate to answer the question would have a gift from me. The question is, who knows the reason behind creation? Why did Allah create us? Any answer from anyone? Yes? He said Allah created us to worship Him. Is that the correct answer? Do you know that there are people here who don't know the reason behind the creation? If you don't believe me, I can prove. If I were to go to all of you one after the other to ask you this question, I will have people who don't know the answer. I can prove, right? However, the topic given to me is the dangers of sinning or committing sin and the importance of tawbah, which is repentance. First of all, we have to know that Allah created us and brought us into this world to worship Him and to not associate any partners with Him. That is a fact we have to know. And everyone as Muslims should remember this. So to worship Allah has to do with two things. That is to make sure and taqif awamirihi, to make sure you stand on His orders, commandments. That is to do the things Allah asks you to do. And to avoid doing things that He doesn't ask you to do, that He avoids and He prohibits you from doing them. So now, we know everyone sins, everyone commits mistakes. Human is bound to make mistakes. We commit sins, yes. But we have to try as much as possible to avoid committing sins. That is how we do, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that we are going to commit sins. That is why when He created Adam alayhi salam, He brought him onto this world with a guidance. Allah gave Adam a guidance. That is, He knows that Adam might at any point, do something he's not supposed to do, which is to commit mistakes or to sin. But the first thing humanity demands from Allah is forgiveness. فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. Adam asked Allah he asked forgiveness from Allah. That is the first thing he asked from Allah. Now we come back to the last thing. Humanity demands from Allah. So what I want to make is that we know we sin. We commit sins every day. Even yourself, if you are to judge yourself, to count the sins you commit per day, oh my goodness, uncountable. I'm sorry, especially a woman. Yes. Now this world right now is tempting. You have fitness everywhere. I'm going to raise a point here, and I know those who are with me, they will be justified. That is social media. We use it. Well, how do we use it? We use social media. How do we use it? Some, alhamdulillah, they use it in a very good way. Let's say give out Islamic information to people, but others the opposite. That has to go to women. I'm not really an addict when it comes to social media, but I know sometimes I go there. Could you imagine a woman posting a video of herself dancing? Could you imagine a woman posting a video of herself doing something that she knows that Allah is not going to please with her? And after everything, you pause the video, you go and sleep comfortably. How dare you? This is not how a Muslim man should live her life. No. You have to try your level best to avoid committing mistakes, to avoid committing sins. I mentioned a point that when it comes to women, they are tempting. Now I'm going back to men. Why did I say they are tempting? When you consider the majority of the fitness that we face right now in this world, it comes from women. The interaction between the opposite genders. Women, even their voice tempts us. It tempts us. That's why Allah mentioned, He says in the Quran, فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٌ وَقُلْنَ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. That do not be soft in words. That is to you women. Like when you're talking to an opposite gender who, he is your non-mahram, do not be soft in words. Why do you do that for? Why do you do it for? When someone comes to you and asks you of something, or just says hello to you, he says hello, just say hello in a bigger voice. But we don't do that. A guy comes to you and says hello, you say hello. Am I wrong? That's what you do. This is not my words. These are not my words. Allah said, do not be soft in words. فلا تخضعن بالقول والخضوع بالقول هو تلين وترقيق فيظن من في قلبه مرض من مرض شهوة الزنا أنهن يوافقونه على ذلك. Why did Allah mention this? Allah created us. He knows everything about us. There's something in human being called ghariza in Arabic, in English we call it instinct. When you speak in this way, a guy hears you speaking that way, what is he going to feel? He says, فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٌ. Lest he in whose heart there is disease shall be moved with desire. I'm talking about sexual desire. So therefore we have to be very mindful when it comes to this. Now, based on the limited time I have, I'm not going to stay too long at this particular point. I want to raise a point because we know that it doesn't matter how much you sin, no matter how many times you sin, there's always a way for you. I say, when Allah created Adam and brought him into this world, He gave him a guidance. What is the guidance? That is forgiveness. Now, the amount of sins you commit don't matter. What matters is how often you go back to Allah to ask for His forgiveness. How many times do you go back to Allah to ask for His forgiveness? And sometimes you can go to a private place where you know there's no one there except you and Allah, and you see, no one sees you. I'm not going to say sinning in private is more dangerous than in an open place. No. But listen to this. When you sin in an open place, perhaps someone can see you, somebody can see and correct you. Perhaps people can come to you and try to confront you to make sure you stop what you do. That's a positive way. But not with arrogance. But when you see it in private, it's between you and Allah. Sometimes you have no one to come to you because people don't know that you sin in private. So therefore, sinning in private is poisonous, is venomous, is dangerous. We have to, that's what we call the noble khalawat. And there are some people, they are obsessed with that. Wherever you go to, and you know that, you don't hear no one, is seeing. Allah is seeing you. You have to be very mindful. Wherever you are, Allah is there with you. That's what's mentioned in the Quran. So go back to forgiveness. And humanity, I say, the first thing humanity demands from Allah is forgiveness. فَتَلَقَى آدَمَ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. Is that so, right? And the last thing humanity also demands from Allah is forgiveness. When the people to go to Jannah during the crossing to Jannah, like Sirat, there's a way you have to cross, and you have to cross Sirat, right? And some people, everyone would have light, and although the extent of the brightness of our light will be different. So for those who are given that light, the prayer, the demand they would ask from Allah is Rabbana atmim lana nurana. O Allah, complete our light for us. Waghfir lana, and forgive us. So you see now, the first thing humanity demands from Allah is forgiveness, and the last thing is forgiveness. So therefore, we have to make sure that each time we commit sin, let's go back to Allah immediately and ask for His forgiveness. Allah, innahu al-ghafur rahim, He said, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِي الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Say, O you Prophet, those of you, my servant, who are transgressed with sinning, do not be despair of the mercy of Allah. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. Allah forgives all sins. Sometimes you can go and commit a particular sin and be like, based on the action and the fact that this particular sin I commit is huge, so I don't think Allah is going to forgive me. Who are you to say that? Did you hear the verse, Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a? Go back and ask for His forgiveness. Even if you repeat that same sin million times, do not hesitate to go back, but with conditions, because forgiveness immediately admit that what you have committed is wrong. That should be the first point. That should be your one of the conditions that should be met by yourself. You have to admit your sin, and secondly, you immediately have to regret that sin. Maybe I did this, but it was a mistake. Because Shaitan is bad. You know what happens to you? He doesn't want you to ask forgiveness. Immediately you sin, he will come to you. He said, bro, don't bother yourself. It's just a small mistake. Everyone else commits sins. So this is, Allah understands. Maybe you did this because of pressure. He comes to you. You know why? There's one thing that He doesn't want from you. He does not want you to go back to Allah to ask for His forgiveness. That's why He will come to you. So anytime you sin, do not hesitate to go back to Allah. Don't say, okay, I'm going to wait until I go to this particular place, or I'm going to wait until it's Laylatul Qadr, then I can. No! Immediately, who guarantees you that you're going to live for that long? No one guarantees you. So therefore, once you commit sins, immediately go back to Allah and ask for His forgiveness. The third condition attached to repentance is to ask for His forgiveness. And the fourth one is to promise yourself that you are not going back to that same sin for the rest of your life. Then after this, your conditions are met. Is that it? Time? Good. So I would like to stop here. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our deeds from us. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.